Dear friends, I'm very happy to welcome all of you to our online event dedicated to the regions of Cyprus and how to choose property for life and investment. I'm very happy and very grateful that you found time to join us because we will try to make it very useful and very interesting. Just to let you know that how we organize these events, that we try to be very punctual and we'll try to finish in 1 hour. During the event, we will do the presentation, but we will also leave enough time for you to ask questions and answer. So during the presentation, you can type your questions in the chat and we will either answer them during the event or maybe we will leave, if we cannot answer during the flow of the presentation, we will definitely leave some time to be able to answer at the end. Okay, so let's start. So as I told you earlier, today we are talking about Cyprus and we will talk how to choose a property for life and investment. Today, we will not be talking strictly about the advantages of Cyprus or what are the benefits. This is the topic of our different webinar, and we will leave for you the link in the chat so you can have a look specifically at that topic. Today, we will talk more about what to expect and to talk about real estate market. So first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Anastasia Yianni, and I'm the CEO and partner of Cyprus Sotheby's International Realty. I've been working in Cyprus real estate for the last 20 years. I live in Cyprus for the last 22 years. I love real estate, and I'm really passionate about sharing my experience with investors regarding residential, commercial properties, and large-scale investments. Our company in Cyprus is part of the Sotheby's International Realty Network, which is one of the largest international luxury real estate brokerage in the world. The offices of the network are present in more than 79 countries, which gives us truly international angle. And we always try to bring the experience and the best practices from all over the world to where we work. In Cyprus, we work with 4 main values in mind. This is knowledge. Every person in the team is very knowledgeable. Efficiency. We are here to save you time and money and to make the whole process as efficient as possible. The next value is ethics. We would always be very transparent and provide all the information. And last but not the least, in truly Sotheby's fashion, we want to do everything with style. Our company in Cyprus is fully licensed. In Cyprus, the real estate activity is licensed, so we are licensed estate agents. We work all over Cyprus with all developers and private sellers. Our office is very multilingual, and I'm very happy to inform you that now we added German and French language to our team, so we will be able to advise you in the language of your choice. So all in all, we are here to make the experience of buying or investing in Cyprus as efficient as possible. I'm also very happy today because normally I do the webinars alone, that today I'm doing it together with the experts of my team. And what we have done, we have selected one member of the team for each area, and they will be sharing their professional but also personal experience. So this webinar is in fact a conversation with real people living in Cyprus, living in the area that we will be presenting, going to the shops, taking children to school, paying taxes, but also working in the real estate sector and knowing everything about real estate. So today is a very special event for me as well, and it's quite fun. It will be like you are part of our offices. Okay, so what is the program of our webinar? First, we will talk about Cyprus real estate market. What is happening? The principle of our company is that even when you're looking and you're choosing the property for your personal use, we consider it as a possible investment. You invest your money, things, the conditions, the circumstances in life can change, and maybe you will spend some time in Cyprus and maybe 5, 6, 7 years, or maybe you will be here for life, but maybe there will be time that you will need to sell the property. So it's very important to understand what is happening, what are the tendencies, are the prices going up or down, what is the cycle of real estate, are people buying, are the properties in demand. So the first part will be about the condition of Cyprus real estate market. Then we will talk about the ways, the legal ways, how you can live in Cyprus, or to that matter, invest. And for these, I would ask you to help me a little bit. And if you write in the chat the country where you are listening from, this will help me how much time dedicate to the programs that are open for European buyers, and how much to leave, in how many details to explain the programs for non-European clients. So if you please just write in the chat the country, it will really help me a lot. The next point that we will cover is what to ask yourself before considering Cyprus and before making a final decision. Investing in property is a huge decision, and we're talking about substantial amount of money. This is not something that can be taken lightly, and we are big believers that it's much better to be over-prepared than under-prepared. And then we will move to the biggest part of our today's webinar, regional specifics, and our experts' favorite projects. What we tried to do this time, that every expert selected made a small selection of their personal properties. You know, we have more than 4,000 properties in our database, so it's not possible to share everything. This is what we do in our private consultations, but just to give you a taste and understanding what you can get for your money in various areas will, I believe, will definitely be helpful. Once again, ladies from marketing, please put in the chat the link to our previous webinar where we talked in details about taxes, about the reasons why Cyprus could be the place for you. So if you are new to this topic, I would highly recommend to view it. But also, if you have questions, please go ahead and post them in the chat. So let's start. In the beginning, let's see how does the Cyprus real estate market feel now. We are very lucky that in Cyprus we have the Department of Lands and Surveys, or in everyday life we call it land registry. And this is the institution that register all sales contracts and every property transaction. This information and this data is open. It's not only to the valuers or lawyers or real estate agents. You can go yourself to the Department of Lands and Surveys website and check this information. And we can see here we collected information for the transaction volume from 2010 to 2021. And you can see that we are now on the path to recovery. 2013 was a tough year where the market crashed, and since then we are gradually growing, and this is a very good trend for the sellers and for the buyers as well. 2020 was the year where Cyprus was closed almost all year because of COVID. So you can see the drop, but you can, in 2021, already the number of transactions increased, and the first quarter of 2022 shows very healthy activity. Why is it important for you? First of all, it's important to understand what is the combination between supply and demand. Is there demand? How much can I bargain when I buy the property? What is expected with the property? Let's say if I buy for investment, is there room for capital growth? Is there demand if I want to sell in 1 or 2 years? And what we see now that the picture is very, very healthy. And COVID, even though it brought this negative change in the market, in the last 2 years, it is actually bringing many more sales, and especially internationally. Why? Because lots of people realized that they do not need to go to the office to work and earn money. They can work remotely. And why can't I work in a beautiful place with amazing weather and lovely lifestyle? Why not? And also on top of it, I will be paying much, much, much less taxes. So if you look, so we looked at you at the big picture, what is happening with the general volume of transactions. Now let's see that what is happening with the area. When we're talking about regional specifics, what do we need? And here you have the picture of our beautiful island. And when we split them in the area, to be completely honest, there are only 5. And with international interest, majority of our buyers would consider the properties and the areas near the sea. Because of course, when you come to Cyprus, you want your 340 days of sun, you want the sea, you want beautiful views. So even though Nicosia, the capital of Cyprus and the area around it, is very active, and you can see that in 2021, 27% of all the sales were in Nicosia. However, when we go to the split between international buyers, if we look at the distribution of real estate acquired by foreigners, we can see a slightly different picture. And we can see that the 2 areas, they are definitely the leaders. We're talking about Pafos area and Limassol area. And Larnaca is getting more attention, and our expert from Larnaca area will explain to you why. And Famagusta, which is Ayia Napa, like we are not talking about northern Cyprus at all. This is the area of Ayia Napa Protaras Paralimni. It also gets a healthy interest from the foreign buyers. Nicosia, the figures in Nicosia, they are mainly investments. So it's less lifestyle, more for investments. So we looked at you at the general distribution. And again, I want to stress once again why this information is important. Having this knowledge will help you understand why the prices in Limassol are more expensive than in Larnaca, because there is more demand. What is happening now with the prices? Again, with this slide, I'm always very careful because this is a residential property price index. And these indexes, they are not fully reflecting the real situation. For example, the real price growth in the last year was much higher, and there are many many different reasons for that. Just to give you the main two reasons. The first was big increase of construction costs, where the construction costs increased dramatically. And the second one, reduced supply, because during the COVID year, the construction activity was much less. But still, what is important, we're looking with you now at the big picture. We can see that there was a big drop of prices. Now the prices are growing up, but we can see very well that there is still a potential for growth. Okay, and before I move to the next slide, let me quickly answer the question of Jay. Could you please address the expected impact of the current inflation and on the interest rates and prices, and also the impact of the Ukraine war on demand from Russian buyers? I will split it into two. And at the moment, inflation drives demand a lot. Why? Because when you buy real estate, this is one asset, even though it's not as liquid as anything else, but this is the asset that will most probably hold its value, and there is a very big chance that it will grow in value compared to all the other investment vehicles that you have. So what we see now, lots of people buying for investment, for rental. So they already have a residential property, but they're buying additional units so they can generate income and protect their money from inflation. The impact of the Ukraine war on demand from Russian buyers, there is still demand. It's more difficult to do the sales, but I would say that what is the biggest impact we see now is the really big impact on the rental prices, because Cyprus is a small island, and even small changes in the number of potential tenants bring big difference. And now, because of this horrible situation and this horror going on, there were lots of IT and other companies moving to Cyprus and bringing their personnel. So just imagine if, let's say, just only in Limassol, more than 800 families relocated in 1 month. The rents increased dramatically. So like now, the last month, my whole team in Limassol was very busy renting properties, and the rent, literally every day, the rents were going higher and higher. Immediately, we saw the many people buying smaller apartments, looking for ready properties to rent them out immediately. Now we have several transactions at the last stage where we already show the properties for potential tenants, and there is almost a queue of people wanting to rent. So this is like in the big picture. So now let's move on. Okay. How will this increase in rental prices affect short-term holiday rentals, please? I think that the biggest effect is that lots of people who used to rent short-term, I mean property owners, they used to rent short-term, but now the long-term rentals are so high that many of them, they would move their properties from short-term rentals to the long-term rentals, which means that potentially there could be not enough short-term. But this is why I say potentially, because there is lots of availability. And also don't forget that hotels are now, many of them are offering very good prices. Short holiday rentals are still there. So for short-term holiday rentals, I would be a bit more conservative. Now I will answer other questions at the end. Now let's move to the next stage. So we will cover our program. So the next stage of our presentation is that, let's say that you realize that, you know what, Cyprus could be a place for me. So I want to buy, but can I enjoy my possession? Can I stay in Cyprus? And the first slide we quickly cover, this concerns non-European citizens. And I've seen before that we have quite a few people who are non-European, so this could be of interest. So Cyprus has amazing residency by investment program. In general, there are several types. There are three main types how by buying a property you can stay legally in Cyprus without any restrictions. Because if you don't have property or if you don't have residency permit, you cannot stay more than 90 days every half a year, and it's even with every country, it could be different. So you can either get a temporary residence permit, and then you will need to renew it every year, and there are lots of bureaucracy and not the most pleasant procedure. You can also go with a long-term residency, so-called long route, where you buy the property, you confirm that you have source of funds, you confirm that you're not planning to work here, and then for the category F, this is the name of the permit, you will need to wait around 12 to 18 months, maybe even more. And there is also one more route, which is called, unofficially it's called fast track procedure. Official name is category 6.2. This is investment option. And this program is done to help the economy and construction sector and also to bring more people to Cyprus. With this route, you can get the permanent residency and not the temporary residence. So you go straight to the non-restricted amount of time that you can spend in Cyprus. The investment threshold is quite low compared to other European countries. There is no need for renewal, meaning that you do this procedure only once. What is very important that this program covers 3 generations of your family. So it's granted to the investor, to the spouse of investor, parents of both the spouse and the investor, and dependent children up to 25 years old. So basically, with one investment, you can get permanent residency status for your whole family. And when your children become older, they don't lose this status. So it's actually excellent program, and it's also a huge safety net for you. Again, sorry that I'm going back to COVID, but this was the time when we really appreciated the value of this permanent residency, because even when the countries were locked, if you had permanent residency, you could have come to Cyprus. The other huge benefit is that you can run business in Cyprus with this permanent residency permit. So it really opens you lots of possibilities and lots of doors. And again, in this presentation, I'm not even going to touch taxes unless there is a question and I cover it at the end. But just to give you an idea, taxes in Cyprus are amazing. So if you become a tax resident in Cyprus, and to become a tax resident in Cyprus, you need to physically stay in Cyprus, so you need to have a permit. But if you become a tax resident and you have passive income from dividends, etc., for the next 17 years, you will pay 0 taxes. Like, in my other presentation, we have a slide for taxes, and it has lots of zeros. And I always say that, when it's probably the only topic when you want to see a 0. So taxes are amazing. No language exam, no medical test. If you don't stay in Cyprus, then you still need to come to Cyprus at least for one day every 2 years. And to be honest, Cyprus is so beautiful that it wouldn't be a disaster to come for one day. No tax consequences, rather short application process period. We still have 2 months, but in reality now it's about 3-4 months, which is still very short. And the investment criteria, you need to invest at least 300,000 euros. There are 4 different vehicles what you can buy, either a residential property or not residential, investment in the share capital, in units of investment fund. Being a real estate agent, we mainly work with the first category, which is investment in residential property. And here there is a bit of restriction, meaning that you can only buy new property. It cannot be a resale property. It has to be first sale. So there will be VAT on this transaction. So just to summarize, what are the main features of the fast track Cyprus permanent residency? Very fast, just 2 to 4 months, valid for life, visit Cyprus 1 every 2 years, issued for the whole family, investment 300,000 euros. And what is also important, that you can start the whole procedure online. And when it's issued, you still have 1 year to come to submit your biometrics. Now, let's move to the second part. For those of you who are from Europe, Cyprus is part of EU, and as the citizens of EU, we have 4 main freedoms, and one of the freedom is the freedom to reside and freedom to move. So any European citizen can move and live in Cyprus. By the way, let me make one note for the previous one. Non-Europeans, even if you have permanent residency, you cannot be employed, but you can open your company, be director, and run your business. European citizens can work, can live, can be employed without any restrictions. And for the European citizens, the only thing that you need to show and to prove, you need to do your registration and get the so-called it's called yellow slip. Okay, so you just register with the local immigration department, and you have the period 4 months after you enter the Republic. And then as soon as you get the yellow slip, you immediately have the right to legally work and live in Cyprus. It's very fast. You need to show a little bit of income. And what is also very important for both categories is that when you become permanent residents of Cyprus, you get access to our national healthcare system called Yianni, which is actually very good. So when you become residents, you have this access. Okay. So what is the minimum property value for F category PR? For category F, there is no minimum value. So category F, you just need to show, with category F, you will need to show that you have a place to live, and you need to pay more attention to your income. You need to show that you have enough income to stay. Oh, by the way, sorry, I'm answering the questions, but if you are EU citizen, you do not need F category. You go straight to the yellow slip. Sorry, I didn't read it properly. And how long the permit is valid for? It is valid for as long as you stay in Cyprus, because basically what yellow slip is, this is a registration that you stay in Cyprus. Okay. Now, next one, because I am running a bit slow. So now imagine that we made one more step in your thinking process. Now you know that Cyprus is of interest. You understand what is the dynamics on the market. You understand what are the immigration implications. So now you move to the point where you start looking for property. Okay. And we are, as you remember, one of our values is efficiency. We really want to work efficient for you and for ourselves. So that's why in our consultation, and by the way, guys, you can see that on top of our presentation, there is this red button, book your free consultation. If you are interested, please book your free consultations and we will go through this process together with you and help you, guide you step by step. But in general, let's say, what thought process should I go through to be able to choose the property that I will truly enjoy? We prepared this small checklist, which we'll be happy to share as well. And the first and main thing is to ask yourself, what is the reason why I want to buy in Cyprus? Of course, it doesn't mean that there can be only one reason. There could be many reasons. But when you go through these questions, you will see even for yourself how big should be a house, where should be the location of house, what is the purpose. So like, if we do it very broadly, is it permanent residency as a safety net? Is it a holiday home? Am I moving permanently? And am I thinking maybe to bring my children? And during our mini presentations for the cities, we will talk about that as well. Is it tax residency? Maybe something else. What area in Cyprus is best for me? Is it Limassol, Pafos, Polis, Larnaca? Again, if you do not know the island, of course it's best, and we will be happy to do it, to show you various areas. But this is a good question to ask. Of course, it's important to understand how much money are you willing to spend. Because, sometimes we get requests, I want, I don't know, let's say I want an apartment. How much do you want to spend? Send me everything. Okay, how can we send everything? So just help us out and help yourself out. How much money you want to invest? So if you just put this figure in your mind, which again, it can change. Okay, it can change and it can change. What property type you're looking at? Is it apartment? Is it penthouse? Are you going for a villa or residency? Again, it's important piece of information. What are the other, how we call it, big and small requirements? Do you want to be by the sea, or you don't want to be on the sea, but you want to have a sea view? Maybe it's the golf that you are after. Maybe it's city center. And even like if you look at our website, we tried to group all the properties by lifestyle to make it a bit easier. And also very important question to ask, am I searching for a ready property? Do I want to move in tomorrow? Or can I go with off-plan property? Why is it important? This is probably more of a local tip, but let's say it's very true for Cyprus that the construction standards changed a lot in the last, I would say probably last 5 years. So if you're looking for ready properties, you need to understand that many resale properties will be completely different quality from how they built them now. So it will be different level of insulation, the different level of energy efficiency. So again, just to have it in mind. Okay, this was, believe it or not, this was introduction. And now we're moving to our regional specifics. And first of all, I would like to invite Milan and Ines, who will tell us a little bit about Pafos. Okay, let me make a short introduction. So I'll start with ladies. Ines Karayani is a very experienced member of our team who joined after working for big developers. So she is an expert in new construction, old construction, golf properties, and she is also a mother. So she will be able to tell us not only the professional point of view, but also like the lifestyle. Milan is very experienced broker who has also experience and degree in valuation and real estate. What is very interesting that Milan lived in the UK before he moved. How can I put it? You lived in Cyprus, moved to UK, and moved back to Cyprus. So I'm very happy to give my microphone to the guys. So Milan, please.
Right, okay. So I'll start off then. We're talking about Pafos, which is the southwestern part of the islands. I actually grew up here, so although I was born in London, I grew up in Pafos. So I'm quite biased to Pafos compared to the other cities. It was voted as the cultural capital, European cultural capital of 2017. So that's mainly due to the archaeological sites of Pafos, but there's a lot of things to do. There's a lot of nature parks and natural reserves, hiking, and there's one of the main international airports of Cyprus as well as in Pafos. So in terms of accessibility as well, it's a really convenient place. And it's a nice mix of both for lifestyle choice as well as retired or semi-retired people that want to sort of live in Pafos, but they don't want to be in a sort of a big city, whether it's abroad or let's say compared to Limassol, which is more sort of city-based. So you get a nice mix of both. With easy access to going towards Limassol or going back home. So yeah, I that's a little bit about Pafos, and which is the reasons why I sort of like Pafos. Yes.
Hi. So I must admit that I'm also a biased person, because definitely living in Pafos for 18 years, I'm in love with the city, right? So we always have this dilemma, really, as brokers, how to make sure that we talk about Pafos without really irritating our colleagues from Limassol and Larnaca area. But the reality is that I do represent a classical family living in a place like Pafos, having 3 children. So my lifestyle is all about schools and different activities and sports and whatnot. And I must admit that we have absolutely everything you might need in Pafos in a very, very good scale. So you have all your entertainment facilities, you have excellent connection, and pretty much Milan perfectly covered it. But at the same time, we do have this like escape, in a way, wonderful lifestyle, which is a little bit paced down. So it's not running city life, right? Like, but it's yet enough vibrant to enjoy pretty much anything you want to do. And also climate-wise, obviously Anastasia mentioned about Cyprus having wonderful climate, and we know all about it, but Pafos is just this a little bit cooler, which we find it quite nice, especially in hot summer months, and a little bit greener as well, due to geographical positioning of Pafos as a city. So let's have a look at the options that Milan has chosen in Pafos as great opportunity to see what you can get in this wonderful city of Pafos.
Right, so I had a real think about which ones I would like to highlight. And the first sort of choice that we're highlighting here are these apartments in Pafos. So the reason why I've chosen this one is well, there's a number of reasons actually, but for those that are looking for something that is new and completed, then this is the perfect choice, because actually the number of completed projects now are not as many as there used to be a few months ago or last year. So those that are looking, that want to get PR, or they're looking for something ready to move in right now, this is a perfect choice for you. The location as well is perfect because it's close to all the amenities. It's close to the mall. It's walking distance to the harbour and to the sea. So you're literally at fingertips, walking distance to everything. It comes fully furnished, VRV system. It's the highest quality materials, underfloor heating, swimming pool, and you've both got a choice of 1 or 2 bedroom apartments. And the penthouse also is a 3-bedroom penthouse with a roof terrace as well. And you've got a choice of both sea views and also mountain views. So it's a really, really good choice, both for investment, or if you want to stay yourself and just be within distance to everything.
I would add that it's definitely quite a rare case when we have a complete property which is brand new, so it can be used for permanent residency. The fast track, it's never been used, it's key ready with the highest possible specifications, and it can easily be either rented out long term or short term if you want to use it yourself as well. Very good choice.
Thank you. Now the next one now, again, another is sort of a very good choice for those that are wanting sea view. So this is a sea view sort of villa. This is off plan, but again, a very, very enviable location, quiet, and it's a very good sized property. So that's the sort of the biggest request we get is over 200 square meters. And the plot size is a very good plot size because it's big enough where you feel like you've got room to actually breathe and use, but it's also manageable, so it's not excessive where it just sort of gets a bit too much and out of hand. The layout is very smart designed, again, very, very high quality stuff, VRV, all the sort of the standard now. So again, very highly recommend that one that's within that bracket, that price range. And then this is the last one, villa in Pafos. This is sort of the one where if I had the money, I would go for. This is my personal favorite, and we do get a lot of sort of requests for this one. And if you see it, you'd understand why. This again is off plan, but plot size is 1,200 square meters, so there's a lot of space, panoramic sea views. Really, this is like top quality outdoor space as well. So, and all the rooms are sort of usable. There's a lower floor with natural light coming in as well. So it is infinity pool. So, and it's driving distance to Coral Bay, which is one of the most popular beaches in Pafos as well, and so all the other restaurants as well. So. Liquidity wise as well, all 3 of them would be a very, very good choice if in whatever 5 or 10 years you're looking to sell and upgrade. So very good choices in my opinion, and yeah, those are my personal favorites.
I'll probably here answer the question.
And there is a question here.
Yeah. So yes. Typically, off-plan options. Sorry. Typically, off-plan options, including this one, would be delivered key-ready within 12 to 18 months, depending on the case. This particular case would be within 12 months from signing. So that kind of represents the standard of Cyprus. And we must admit that with the developers that we as Sotheby choose, we always reach this deadline. So we've never had any delays. So 12 to 18 months, it's something that you should mark for yourself as off-plan to key ready.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, this picture doesn't do justice to the sea view because the view from this property is absolutely stunning. And Milan, when you get it, we're all coming for the housewarming party.
You're all welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. We are moving to the next city, and we are moving now to Limassol. Okay, and I would like to invite Olga to join us. Olga is, like I don't actually, it's not that I repeat the same words, but it is correct that Olga is also very experienced person in the real estate market. And unlike many of us, she was working in various areas of real estate. So she is extremely good with marketing. She was even working as a credit controller in one company. So she's probably the best person to explain about loans and how to prepare KYC documents. And also, what is very interesting, that Olga personally lived both in Pafos and Limassol. So she can actually compare two cities from the personal view as well. Again, Olga has two children. So if you have any children questions or tax questions, actually,
Or
you know
any
what, we're
questions?
very universal. We can talk about children, we can talk about shopping, we can talk about education, real estate, everything. So Olga, please.
Thank you very much for introduction, Anastasia. And as you mentioned, I lived both in Pafos and Limassol, and to be honest, it's very difficult for me to say which city I prefer because I love them both. But since I'm based in Limassol right now, obviously I'll talk about Limassol. So what's the difference? What Limassol has to offer that Cyprus definitely, Pafos definitely has, but maybe not to this extent. It's obviously bigger city. It's the second largest urban area in Cyprus with above than 160,000 people living there. Now probably much more, and has amazing social and commercial infrastructure. Has very nice nightlife, clubs, restaurants, fine dining, tavernas, obviously very good education for the kids, has very good international schools, kindergartens, with very good standards of teaching, has theaters. Wine festival is held every September in a municipal square. Obviously, a lot of sightseeing. It's a business hub for international business. I'm not going to talk now about tax benefits of Cyprus because it's a separate webinar. But obviously, Limassol would be the center of business activities. We have two international airports, just 40 minutes drive from Limassol, one in Larnaca, one in Pafos, and we're in the middle, which is very convenient access. We have carnivals held here. We have them everywhere, but here is like the main carnival in February, March, which is interesting event. Basically, we have everything. So if I answer the question, which categories of people are better for choosing Limassol, I would say it's completely everybody because it's good for every person. I mean, it could be families with kids, it could be couples, young couples. Of course, Pafos would be a better choice for a quiet life. So if you want something more active, you have to come to Limassol. And it's just 40 minutes drive everywhere. So it's very central, very convenient. Now, before I move to
one thing that I want to add, we talk about regional differences, but in a way, like from Pafos to Limassol, it's just 40 minutes. So it's not that it's completely different. And what Olga said is very true, that Limassol is definitely business capital. So most big companies, most business centers, the biggest activity is in Limassol. Okay. Which you will see reflected in the prices.
So just before I moved to the properties, which was a very difficult task for me to choose the properties I like because I like so many. We have a lot of very good quality properties here. So it was quite a difficult task. I just want to explain that Limassol is divided by the highway in two parts. So obviously we have more like a tourist area, which is on the seafront, and the prices are slightly higher there due to proximity to the sea. And again, we have the parts which are a bit higher, which have a lot of advantages, saying that it's not so humid, it's better views maybe, and they can be also very expensive due to the beautiful views. But we're always talking about below the highway and above the highway. So when I was choosing properties, I chose some above the highway and some in the tourist areas, just for you to understand some differences. So the first project I'm talking about is above the highway. located in residential area. It's a really nice project, very good quality, underfloor heating, very high ceilings, very nice infrastructure. It's away from crowds, but at the same time it's in the center of the city, located in Limassol. It's a very popular area, very close to all the schools. And I chose penthouse, but there are also three-bedroom apartments left in this complex, starting from 605,000. Very spacious, all with very good specs. We're moving to the next one now. So very nice gym, swimming pool. I think it's a lovely property for those who want to come and stay here permanently, because again, the prices are very reasonable and the quality is really good. Now we are moving to a second project, which is again above the highway, but it's just above the highway. So it's very close proximity to the highway, to tourist area, again, to schools, to cinemas, to all the infrastructure. It's probably the greenest project in Limassol, within Limassol. There are nice green areas outside, but this one is in town, located in Mutayaka, close to, again, supermarkets and everything. It's a closed project. We have here one bedroom, two bedroom, and three bedroom apartments. One bedroom, they start from 300,008, which is a very good opportunity right now for permanent residency. If somebody is just looking for a property to get permanent residency in a small family, they're quite spacious, even one bedrooms. And then we have, from the three bedrooms, we have a penthouse on the left. And just today, they presented villas as well. There are three luxury villas in this project, just about 2 million. Now you can understand the price differences of Limassol, and we are not on the seaside. But it's going to be very luxury villas, 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms with the top specifications. So this project is very recommended for both investment, because it's going to be rented very good price always. Plus infrastructure is amazing. It has a very big swimming pool, playgrounds, and it's really very green. Now,
And
the
Olga,
last,
you mentioned that that project is in Mutayaka.
yeah,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
I've mentioned it's Mutayaka. It's the roundabout just before the last one, but it's still quite center, and it's very, very easy to access both highway and going just below the bridge to the seafront. So it's a very good location. It's not a busy traffic, and it's very easy proximity. Now, and the last project is also one of my favorite. It's a project which is within, let's say, the other project. There are 3 blocks, but 2 of them, they're sold and completed. So it's the last one which is available. Very high standard. This is in a tourist area, just 500 meters from the sea. Amazing landscape, very good quality. It's just 4-story building, and the prices here are obviously higher. If we're talking about one bedroom, we're talking somewhere about 600,000 plus VAT, and the penthouses are just below 2 million, but the quality you're getting there is amazing, just amazing. So you really have to see it.
See it to believe
Basic,
it.
yeah. Well, and obviously all the infrastructure, swimming pools, very luxury complex, nice gym, covered parkings, very high ceilings, and best specifications. So that was pretty much it. I mean, we have many options to offer you, but we cannot fit them in one presentation.
That's very true. And let's move to Larnaca area, and let's try to be a bit fast. Okay, so let me introduce Lisa. Lisa is our expert in the eastern part of the island, Larnaca and Famagusta area. She is quite new to the real estate business as a brokerage, but not new to the construction and project management business. She has been working with the contracts, with projects for several years, so she is very knowledgeable in that area. And recently, she joined our sales team, so she is growing as a property broker as well.
Thank you for introduction, Anastasia. I'm happy to present my city, Larnaca, which is the third largest city on the island. I love Larnaca because it's actually central located. It's just 30 minutes away from capital of Cyprus, Nicosia, 40 minutes away from Limassol, and 45 minutes away from Protaras and Ayia Napa touristic area. Also, it's the biggest airport of two that we have, international airport located here, and also second largest port, Marina of Larnaca. Talking about Marina of Larnaca, its upcoming project that is already started with a great potential. It will become. It already had the 1.2 billion euros has been invested already in this project, and therefore investors are very interested in this area of Larnaca and started to look for areas next to the upcoming port. It will be a promenade with also infrastructure like shops, residential properties, hotels, and of course itself the port. I must admit that Larnaca is a very balanced city. It has to offer international schools, entertainment, and also what I noticed living in Larnaca, that there are many places with a live music, artistic atmosphere. So I really enjoy this city, and I also have a daughter that she also goes to school. So I must admit that standards of education here in Cyprus in general are very high.
Lizette, can you move a little bit closer because there is a little bit of sound?
Okay, is it better now?
Much better.
Okay, so if we talk about Larnaca, I would love to emphasize three areas that are very popular for investors and also for local people as well. Is it Mackenzie area that is next to a very popular beach of Mackenzie? Then it is new marina area, we call it locally, next to the upcoming port, and also city center, of course, it's developing. So the first, actually in Larnaca, as my colleagues already mentioned, in general in Cyprus, already moving properties, kind of a lack of these kind of properties. So most available now to buy is off plan or under construction. And the first one that I chose is residential building that is located in Mackenzie area with a great views to Larnaca Bay. The complex has also communal pool. There are apartments with 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. So in this case, it is presented 1-bedroom apartment with a great large verandas with a view of Larnaca Bay. This is example of.
You can see the prices vary a lot. So in Larnaca, you can get a very nice apartment, walking distance to the sea, just below 250. And you can see how close and how fantastic it is.
Absolutely. So the second project I chose is absolutely fantastic and interesting design and architecture. It differs from all the buildings in Larnaca, I must admit. It's under construction. We already see the shape. I love the location as well because it is on the crossroad, let's say, entering the city center and also not far away from exit to the highway that connects all the cities in Cyprus. This complex is unique also with amenities that it offers. It has gym, spa, communal dining area, and also even meditation room on the underground level. It has 2 towers. One is 10 level and the second one is 12 level tower. And apartments here we have with 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms with spacious open plan spacious And the third one, property I chose is the villa next to Larnaca. Let's say Larnaca is expanding, and most of the detached villas are located not centrally in Larnaca, but let's say in suburb areas that are becoming part of Larnaca. This particular project is located next to upcoming new port of Larnaca. It's gated community. These villas they have a private pool. We have villas in this particular project, 3, 4, and 5 bedrooms. And the very interesting thing that design and architecture, they combine glass, wood, and stone, which is very typical to Mediterranean style, though it's very modern as well, high quality and high standards.
Thank you. You know, Larnaca is definitely an up and coming area because there are so many infrastructure projects. You know, guys, because we are already 6 o'clock, I think let's speed up, just mention a little bit about the last area, and we'll only show the properties. So, Lisa, if you just say very few words about Ayia Napa and Protaras area. What would be,
okay,
if you have to choose, let's say, just 3 reasons, what is the most interesting and fascinating part about this part of the island?
In this area, actually, I've been living for 4 years, so I can tell you many things. So it's more touristic destination, definitely. It has high season summertime. So I would emphasize that if you buy property in this area, that would be very good investment for rental, for sure. Ayia Napa is more parties, little town, and Protaras area is more family destination. If we're talking about properties in general in this area, mostly there are villas and detached houses. So as example, you can see this project of that is located in Ternera, very nice family destination with all amenities around, many restaurants, cafes, bars, shopping, and the best beaches ever in this region of Cyprus.
I think just to give you, dear listeners, an idea, you can see that in Protaras area, you can get a 3-bedroom detached house for 336,000. And it's a proper, decent holiday home with a private gardens, with a private swimming pool. There are luxury apartments with a view, or if you go to the different and like Ayia Napa Marina, they absolutely stunning properties and absolutely stunning resort. So
I must admit it's iconic project though for Ayia Napa Marina, yes.
Yes. And now, thank you very much for all this wonderful presentation. And I hope that we managed to give you a taste of our beautiful island and of different areas. And now I would like to invite you to ask us more questions. Before you come to Cyprus, we will be happy to guide you and to provide you with more information. And how we normally work, that first we would encourage you to have an online meeting with us, an online call with one of our experts, where one-on-one we will be able to talk to you, to chat, to find out if Cyprus is good for you. Will Cyprus be a good place to invest? Would you be happy in Cyprus? So the first step is online private consultation. And again, I'd like to remind you that you can book your free consultation straight from the webinar. Then if Cyprus is for you, we would help you with all the preparation. We will assist you with the preparation of the documents for the bank, for KYC, for the permanent residency, for immigration, for absolutely. Work out the logistics of your trip, where to stay, how to stay. identify the long list of properties for viewing. And when you come, we will show you the properties, go with a short list, and basically help you every step on the way, so we can bring you to the most enjoyable part of the journey, is the moment when you can get the keys of your house and enjoy your life in Cyprus. And here you have all our details. Our experts will reach out to you as well to see if the Cyprus is of interest, if there is anything that you would need to know. And just one more very important thing, that you're always welcome to visit us when you're in Cyprus, either in our office in Pafos or in our office in Limassol. And because there are a couple of questions, let's just do 2 or 3 questions, because I really don't want to keep you on. So let's just very couple of questions. Okay, how are the new marinas in Ayia Napa and Paralimni likely to affect the market in the area? Well, the marinas are always a positive sign, because marinas bring infrastructure. It means that there will be new restaurants, new shops, new people, influx of more people visiting the area. So the influence, I would say that let's hope that it will be only positive, because there will be more people coming, falling in love with the area and wanting to invest nearby if they cannot afford marina itself. Because let's not forget that so far, at least in Cyprus, marinas properties, I would say they are some of the most expensive. It's also very interesting that we have a new marina coming out, which is Larnaca Marina, which will be a huge infrastructure project, which will definitely influence the market of Larnaca, and again for the positive. Okay, then we apologize that we delayed you by a few minutes. We really hope that you found the information that we presented of interest, and we would love to be of service to you and welcome you to Cyprus. And on this note, I would say once again, thank you very much. Thank you guys for your participation in this webinar. You were wonderful. And hopefully see you all soon in our wonderful, wonderful island of Cyprus. Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.